All right, let's dive into a true classic, Tony Robbins' Unlimited Power. Now, this isn't just a book you read, it's really a user's manual for what Robbins calls the new science of personal achievement. And today, we're going to break down the core operating system that it offers for your life. So let's start with the core philosophy of the entire book, which is captured perfectly in this quote. Unlimited power makes this really powerful point. Knowing stuff is great, but it's only potential power. Real power, the kind that actually shapes our lives, comes from taking what we know and putting it into action. This is a user's guide, and the goal here isn't just to learn, it's to do. The book kicks off with this incredible, almost unbelievable story of two men. On one side, you've got W. Mitchell. A motorcycle accident left 75% of his body with third-degree burns. He rebuilt his life. Then, a plane crash paralyzed him from the waist down. And yet, despite all of that, he became a millionaire, a public speaker, and found love. Then you have John Belushi, an absolute comedic genius, famous, wealthy, loved by millions. But his life ended in a tragic overdose when he was just 33. So this just begs the question, right? It's not about our resources, it's about our resourcefulness. Why is it that some people can face these unimaginable challenges and still create amazing lives, while others who seem to have everything, the money, the fame, the love, end up destroying themselves? What is that one thing that makes all the difference? And what Robbins says is the answer isn't luck or your background or even your circumstances. The key difference is communication. And not just, how we talk to other people. It's the quality of the conversation you have with yourself, the pictures you make in your head, the questions you ask yourself, even the way you move your body. This is the force that directs everything. So, how do we get a handle on this power of communication? Well, here's the game plan. We're going to start by defining what personal power really is. Then, we'll look at a shortcut to get it. After that, we'll get into how to control your emotional state, what beliefs you need to succeed, and finally, a set of powerful ideas to live by. First up, we need to get on the same page about what power even means. Because a lot of us think of power as, controlling other people or having a fancy title. But true unlimited power, well, that's something much more personal. This right here is the book's definition of ultimate power. It's the ability to shape how you see the world and to consistently get the results you actually want. It's about being able to change how you feel in an instant, to direct your own mind and body, and to take focused, massive action to build the life you want, not just the one that happens to you. Okay, so how do you get this power? Do you have to spend decades figuring it out through trial and error? Well, the book introduces this really powerful shortcut, an idea from neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, called modeling. The idea is super simple, really. Success leaves clues. People who are amazing at something, whether it's running a business, being a great parent, or creating art, they aren't just lucky. They do specific things to get those results. They think in certain ways. They hold certain beliefs. They even use their bodies in specific ways. Modeling is just the process of figuring out exactly what they do and then doing it yourself. It's like finding the recipe for success and following it. Robbins actually boils this down into a 4-step formula that you can see successful people use over and over. First, you got to know exactly what you want. No vague goals. Second, you have to actually do something. Ideas are worthless without action. Third, you have to pay really close attention. Is what you're doing working? Is it getting you closer to your goal? And fourth, you have to be willing to change it up. If what you're doing isn't working, you have to be flexible enough to try something else. This is the exact loop people like Steven Spielberg and Colonel Sanders ran again and again. But here's the thing. To actually take effective action, to even use that formula, you need the right kind of fuel. And that brings us to the engine behind everything you do, what the book calls your state. I mean, think about it. You've had those days where you're just on a roll, right? Everything feels easy, you're in the zone. And then you have those other days where, nothing seems to go right. You're the same person, you have the same skills, so what's the difference? It's your state. Your state is just the emotional and physical condition you're in at any given moment, and it controls the quality of everything you do. And this is where it gets really interesting. This diagram is basically the user manual for your own emotions. It shows that your state isn't random. It's a direct result of two things you can control: your internal representations, so the pictures and words going on in your head, and your physiology, which is just how you're using your body. And the coolest part is you have direct control over these levers. Feeling down? Try this. Right now, stand up straight, pull your shoulders back, put a huge, ridiculous smile on your face, and try to feel depressed. It's almost impossible, right? You just changed your physiology. Feeling stressed? Change your focus. Instead of picturing everything that could go wrong, vividly imagine it all working out perfectly. You just changed your internal representation. By pulling these two levers, you can go from a lousy state to a powerful one in seconds. Okay, so that leads to a bigger question. What's pulling those levers without you even realizing it? What's running the show in the background? Well, that's where your beliefs come in. They're like the commanders of your brain. See, beliefs aren't just thoughts floating around. They are direct commands to your nervous system. They tell you what's possible and what's impossible. They're the maps that tell you what will lead to pain and what will lead to pleasure. And if you don't have empowering beliefs, even the best strategy in the world is going to fail. And this diagram just nails how beliefs become these self-fulfilling prophecies. Let's say you believe, I'm not good with money. Okay, so how much of your potential will you tap into when trying to get your finances in order? Probably not much. What kind of actions will that lead to? Probably timid, inconsistent ones. And the results? They won't be great, which of course just reinforces that original belief. But flip it around. Believe you can master your finances, and you create an upward spiral of success. You know, this isn't a new idea. The Roman poet Virgil said it thousands of years ago. It's not just positive thinking, it's a neurological fact. What we believe to be true about ourselves becomes our reality. So if beliefs are that powerful, which one should we install in our heads? Robbins gives us what he calls an operating system for success. 7 core beliefs he found in the world's top achievers. And he calls them, funnily enough, the 7 lies to live by. Okay, lies? Why call them lies? It's actually a pretty clever idea. It's a reminder that most of what we think of as the truth is really just our interpretation. And since nobody can be 100% sure about what's ultimately true anyway, we might as well pick the beliefs, the lies, that are the most useful and empowering, the ones that actually get us results. The first one is huge. It basically turns any problem into an opportunity. It's a mindset that forces you to ask, how can this help me? The second one is a total game changer because it takes the fear of failure right off the table. If there's no failure, only feedback, then every single thing you do is a learning experience. You either get the result you want or you learn what doesn't work. Either way, you win. I mean, just take a look at Abraham Lincoln's career. By any normal definition, this is a list of crushing failures, one after another. If he had believed in failure, if he had let these results define him, history would look completely different. Instead, he saw them as outcomes, as feedback, and he just kept adjusting his approach. Okay, these next 3 are all about taking control and getting things done. Number 3, whatever happens, take responsibility. This puts you in the driver's seat. If you're responsible, you have the power to change it. Number 4 is the perfect cure for overthinking. You don't need to know everything to use everything. You don't need to be an engineer to use a smartphone, right? Just focus on what works and go. And finally, number 5 is a reminder that success is a team sport. Real lasting success is always built with other people. And finally, the last 2 are all about passion and grit. Work is play doesn't mean you slack off. It means you find the joy and the challenge in what you do. It's the secret to having endless energy. And the last one, number 7, is about commitment. The most successful people are willing to do whatever it takes. It's that level of dedication that really separates the great from the good. When you boil it all down, the entire message of unlimited power comes back to this one idea, perfectly captured by Shakespeare hundreds of years ago. The events of your life have no meaning until you give them meaning. Nothing is good or bad on its own. It's all about the story you tell yourself. So, what does all of this mean for you? It means you are in the director's chair of your own life. By modeling what works, by learning to manage your state in an instant, and by consciously choosing beliefs that serve you, you hold the power to shape your own reality. The entire operating system is already inside you. The only question left is, what movie are you going to create?